So now come to the first topic of this lecture, that is the binomial classification. Now come to the introduction of classification. Biological classification is the scientific procedure that involves the arrangement of the organism in a proper hierarchical series and group and subgroup on the basis of their similarities and dissimilarities. Right from the archaic times, several attempts have been made to classify the living organism. The first man to attempt a scientific basis of classification was Aristotle. He used simple morphological characters to classify plants as tree, shrub, and herbs. He classified the animals into two groups, anemia and anemia. So anemia, those who have red blood cells, and anemia, that those who without red blood cells. So if we talk about the classification of hierarchy, so the hierarchy or the classification system itself is recognized internationally, even if the way in which particular organism fit into it, it is sometimes the subject of debates. If we take the example of us, that is the Homo sapiens or the human species, so then if we characterize as the classification, then it has some level of classification, that is the phylum, subphylum, class, order, suborder, family, genus, and species. So if we talk about the classification of human species, then the human species come into category, that is the phylum, that is Chordata, and the feature of this phylum is that they contain or they have gill slits, knot cord, dorsal nerve cord, and the subphylum Vertebrata, that is the feature is that they are true vertebrae. They have a true vertebral column, that is we call commonly as a backbone, and the class, that is it constitutes of mammalia. So they all the features that have that they contains mammary glands, different teeth, hairs, and order of human species that belongs to primates. So the feature is that they contains nail, grasping thumb characteristics, and then comes to the suborder, that is Anthropodia. So that is the feature is that the stratoscopic regions, they have large brain, for example in monkeys and in human, and the family of human species are the Hominidae. So that the feature is that they are bipedal or S-shaped spine or spinal system, and the last the genus, that is the Homo, and the species the Sapiens. So Homo have the features that the brain is greater than 1000 cubic centimeter, and they have complex cerebrums, whereas in species, that is the Sapiens, they have the ability to speech or to learn something. So if we see the binomial system, that is the binomial itself says that bi means two and the nomial means the name. So the systems have the two name systems. That is the system of the naming of the system for any organism, that is based on the two letters that is given by the name. So the first name is first letter, that is called the genus, plurally we call the genera, and the second letter is containing the species name. So this system is also often called the scientific name of an organism to distinguish it from their common name, because common name can vary depending upon the geographic region, country, or the language. So the genus and the species name are normally underlined. So that is how if we write the name in by hand, so that we can underline the scientific name, the name of species, and the name of genus, or written in italic if we are writing in soft form like in the computer. So then we have to italicize the scientific name. So the genus name begins with the uppercase. So this is the format of writing any scientific name or in the binomial system. So the genus name should, the first letter of the genus name should be always in capital letter, and the species name in the lower case. For example, Homo sapiens, so that is H is in capital, whereas S is in the small caps. So the binomial system is used to basically avoid the confusion which often arises from the use of common names. For example, the Marlow, that is an aboriginal name, is used in the Western Australia for what we call as a red kangaroo in the eastern state. But if we're talking about the scientific name, then it contains it is unambiguous, so that is, so it is not depending upon the geographic region or the country. So everywhere the organism is called by the single name, that is a scientific name. If we're talking about the red kangaroo, then its scientific name is the Marcus rufus. However, the classification given by the Aristotle was not so proper for the biological classification, and it was felt outdated. So there is a need of classification, further classification of living organism. So the study of one or two organism is not sufficient to know the essential feature of the group. All kinds of organism do not occur in one locality. Classification helps in knowing the relationship between the different groups of organisms. It helps in knowing the evolutionary relationship between the organism. So based on the type of system of classification, organisms were further classified by Carolus Linnaeus, which placed all the organisms into two kingdoms. In the year 1758, Linnaeus divided all the living organisms in two kingdoms, that is the kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. So Carolus Linnaeus classified the kingdom based on the locomotory organ. Okay, so they divided the two kingdom, that is kingdom Animalia and kingdom Plantae. So the features of the kingdom Plantae is the significant, uh, they are they have cell wall, autotrophic mode of nutrition which is followed, the reserve food is starch, they contain a big central vacuoles, they aren't any excretory organ, nervous system, sense organ and muscular system. They don't have any locomotory organ except in some lower algae. Plantae absorb inorganic nutrients from outside. They experience unlimited growth but have well-defined growing points. Their response to external stimuli is very slow. However, in the kingdom Animalia have significant features which are that they lack cell wall, there are no inorganic crystals present in their cells. They also lack central vacuoles. Growth is limited and well-defined growing points are not present. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition is used. They show quick response to external stimuli. The muscular system is also present. They also contains locomotory organs, and they also possess excretory organ, nervous systems and sense organ, and their reserve food as glycogen. However, there are some drawbacks in two kingdom classification. These are the in two kingdom classification, the first form organism have some plant like characteristics and some animals like characteristics, but those who contain both type of characteristics that have not placed in correct kingdom. So like in the classification of that organism is not very much clear in two kingdom classification. For example, Euglena and slime molds. Prokaryotes and eukaryotic organisms are not separated. Example, bacteria. That classification is also not well separate the unicellular and multicellular microorganism. Fungi have distinct morphological and physiological characteristics, but other than plant, but they were placed together in the plant kingdom. Lichens are symbiotic association of algae and fungi. They are neither plant-like nor animal-like, but they are placed in the plant kingdom. So these are the drawbacks of the two kingdom classification that requires the modification of this classification. So after that, The drawback of two kingdom classification was overcome by the three kingdom classification system that was uh, put forward by Haeckel in order to overcome the objection and the limitation of the two kingdom classification system. Haeckel suggested that the inconsistencies of the two kingdom system could be avoided by the recognition of the third kingdom, and he proposed Protista as a new kingdom to accommodate organisms exhibiting characters either common to both plant and animal or unique to their own. So Haeckel proposed the three kingdom classification, and these are the kingdom Animalia, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Protista. Haeckel proposed three kingdom classification, and the classification have some basic basis for their characteristics. So these are that the arrangement of kingdom was done on the basis of morphological complexities and tissue systems, the division of labor and mode of nutrition. Unicellular animals, algae and fungi were separated from other organisms on the basis of lack of tissue differentiation. The new group was called the kingdom Protista, organism lacking morphological complexities, tissue system, the division of labor, and enjoying the diversified type of modes of nutrition were segregated and put under the kingdom Protista. Member of the kingdom Protista includes the protozoa, fungi, bacteria, and other microorganisms. Later, fungi and multicellular algae were taken up out from the group. Organisms have diverse tissue systems with well-defined division of labor, and maximum morphological complexities in the bodies remain segregated from the Protista and were fabricated into two categories. Those enjoying autotrophic mode of nutrition were considered to be the plant and put under the kingdom Plantae, and those that have entirely holophagic mode of nutrition were considered to be animals and put under kingdom Animalia. According to the system, all known microorganisms came to be recognized as Protista, neither plant nor animals. Still, there are some lack in the three kingdom classification. Haeckel's system was not widely accepted, however, and microorganisms continued to be classified as plant, for example, plant bacteria, and fungi, or animals, for example, protozoa. Nucleated and anucleated organisms were kept together in the Protista, so there is no segregation of the nucleated organism or those organisms those who lacks nucleus. Heterotrophic bacteria and fungi place along with the autotrophic algae. So after the drawback of three kingdom classification, the four kingdom classification came into picture. Although the three kingdom system of Haeckel provided logical solution for the inconsistencies of two kingdom class systems, it could not remain unchallenged. With the discovery of electron microscope and further improvement in it with the developments in associated preparative techniques for biological materials, it became possible to examine the structure of cell with very high degree of resolution. This led to the recognition of profoundly important dichotomy in the internal architectures of the cells of the existing protists. It was found that the cell of less complex protists do not have a membrane-bound nucleus and also lack membrane-bound organelles. Contrary to it, the more complex protists possessed true nucleus and membrane-bound organelles like other of plants and animal. The former category was called prokaryotes, means pro means without, and the karyon means nucleus, so without nucleus, and the latter are as eukaryotes, that the true nucleus. After four kingdom classification, the five kingdom classification came into picture, which was proposed by R. H. Whittaker in year 1969. According to this classification, the five kingdoms were formed, namely Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. So the basis of the five kingdom classification is based on the three characteristics. That was the complexity of the cells, which includes either the cell contains nucleus or anucleated. So these are the divided into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then come the complexity of the organism, that either the cells have unicellular or multicellular, or unicellular eukaryotes or unicellular prokaryotes. Then the third criteria of the classification was the nutrition. The organism, either they are autotrophics, heterotrophics. On the basis of this, the kingdom fungi, plantae, and animalia were formed. So according to five kingdom classification, the kingdom prokaryotes, that is the Monera, it was the oldest known cell, lived on over 3.5 billion years ago. They lack nucleus and they also lack the membrane-bound organelles. Other than this, the other four kingdom are eukaryotes. So they contains a true nucleus and membrane-bound organelles. These are the kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, and kingdom Animalia. If we're talking about the merit of five kingdom classification, so the placement of prokaryotes separately in the kingdom Monera is well appreciable, as the prokaryotes differ from all other organisms in their cellular, physiological, and reproductive organization. Many intermediate or transitional form occurs in unicellular eukaryotes, which had been included both amongst plants and animals. Placement of these unicellular eukaryotes into kingdom Protista has removed this anomaly. Fungi have their own unique physiological, biochemical, and structural characteristics and have never been related to plants. Their placement in the form of separate kingdom was long overdue. The criterion of five kingdoms is based on the level of organization and nutritional strategies, which evolved very early and became established in later groups, and that are existing even today. As a result of this system, the animal and plant kingdoms appear more homogeneous than they were in the two kingdom system. Five kingdom systems has tried to bring out phytogenetic relationship even amongst the primitive form, and hence appear more natural. However, still the five kingdom classification have some loophole or the demerits. These are: it lacks distinction between the Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. The kingdom Protista still appear too diverse to be taxonomically useful. The boundary lines between the kingdom Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae are ill-defined. For convenience, the brown algae are probably not closely related to the plants, even though this system placed them in kingdom Plantae. And Monera and Protista contains both walled and well-less organisms, photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organism, and unicellular and filamentous or mycelial organism. A system based on phylogenetic relationship amongst organisms cannot be established in real terms until all the distinct evolutionary tendencies are taken into account. So five kingdom system does not satisfy in this respect. For example, photosynthetic bacteria put under kingdom Monera resemble their green algae in the fact that both obtain hydrogen from source other than water. Similarly, Euglena can be photosynthetic as well as the heterotrophic, and further it can have absorptive as well as the ingestive mode of heterotrophic nutrition. Though Whittaker five kingdom system solved many problems, lack of distinction between the archaebacteria and bacteria remain untouched. So after the issue of distinction between the archaebacteria and eubacteria, the three domain system in the biological classification was introduced by scientist known Carl Lewis in year 1977. So they made two super kingdom, or called the domain, that is the archaebacteria, eubacteria, and the eukaryota. Okay, so the this classification was basically based on the 16 srRNA system, so who's argued on the basis of 16s RNA, and these two groups of and the eukaryota, so that divided according to them in he divided into the three domain, that is the eukarya, archaea, and the eukaryota, that is the bacteria, archaebacteria, and the eukaryota. So archaebacteria includes the bacteria, that is now called the archaea, and the eubacteria is called the bacteria, and the eukaryota, that includes the kingdom protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. So this picture give you the better interpretation between the three domain classification and its relationship between the kingdoms. So the three domain according to the Carl, that is the bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. So the bacteria includes the kingdom eubacteria, and the archaea includes the archaebacteria, and the eukarya, which includes the four kingdom, that is the kingdom protista, fungi, animalia, and plantae. So this is the better prediction. So this classification also known as the six kingdom classification. So now come to the summary of this lecture, that this picture give you a nice representation of all the classification, how it made and how it evolved by the duration of the time. So the first classification that was given by Carolus Linnaeus, according to his classification, the biological system has been divided into two kingdoms, that is the kingdom Plantae and the Animalia. And after that, due to the some drawback of this classification, the most recent or that is adapted by all the scientists, that is the five kingdom classification that was given by Whittaker. According to this, the biological system is classified under the five kingdom, that is the Monera, Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. So after that, some little that this classification has keeping all the uh, characteristics, most of the characteristics, but still this classification had some drawback. So keeping in this, the six kingdom classification or the three domain classification has been proposed by Carlos. So so according to this, the three domain has been formed, that is the bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. So under the domain bacteria, the kingdom eubacteria came, and the under the uh, kingdom archaebacteria, the archaea came, and under the eukarya kingdom, the four kingdom, that is the protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia is kept. So this is all about the uh, this lecture. So here are the references that are used for the preparing this lecture.